Hello again, episode 4. Now, this episode is about Bastion Rock and Fort Bastion. Now, you've probably heard of Bastion Point, but not of Bastion Rock or Fort Bastion. So what we're going to talk about are those two things. Now, what I was doing, I came across Bastion Rock when I was compiling or putting together a panorama of photos taken in 1900 by my favourite old-time photographer, long dead, Henry Winkleman. And he took a number of photos from the top of the Bishop's Palace. Now, the Bishop's Palace is probably not known to you as well, but basically it's a place over in to the north of College Hill there, going up the rise towards Ponsonby. It's an area of land owned by the Catholic Church, and the Bishop's Palace is basically the Bishop's house. Now, I have a photo here of the Bishop's Palace. Let's just quickly go and have a look at that. There it is. So that's a photo taken around about 1900, about the same time. You can just see a lot of photographers actually went to the top of this turret here and took photos because it was quite well set for taking panoramas, and obviously the bishop was quite amenable to it because there's a series of panoramas. Anyway, dear old Henry Winkleman, who actually was an Anglican, obviously was invited to go up there and take some photos, and the photos we shall see are these ones here, which I've stitched together. Now, over on the left here, this is all of it pretty much, but I'll expand it out and we'll try and get our bearings here. So over here on the left you can sort of see downtown Auckland. Downtown here we have the ferry building, the wonderful ferry building. Across here we have all of this is Freeman's Bay. Now let's just get some of our other bearings here. Here is a modern day shot of Auckland. At the end here, this is where the Bishop's Palace is here, right here. So this is Victoria Park. You got the motorway coming through to the Harbour Bridge, and you got the waterfront here. Now, if we zoom in on the Bishop's Palace, you will see exactly, it's obviously changed a lot since Henry Winkleman in 1900 went up there to take it. But the old building, the original building, is still there. Still a beautiful old building, being modified and updated. But you can see the turret there from which he took his photos. Maybe at some later channel we'll look at all the other various panoramas through the years that were taken from there. And they're looking out, okay, so where we are, we're looking out across Auckland in the line of the yellow line here, and all this area here hasn't been developed yet. Okay, this has not been developed. So when we look back at the photos, you can see here that this is pretty much Custom Street comes along here and basically stops. None of this has been developed here at all. So it's still pretty much an industrial area. Freeman's Bay was kind of quite industrial, it was the other side of the tracks back in those days. A lot of red light districts, etc. occurred over in Freeman's Bay. If you wanted some action, go to Freeman's Bay. Okay. Now, some of the buildings that still survive today are this building here, which is St. Patrick's Cathedral, the Roman Catholic Cathedral, and this is where the priests live. Over here on the, as we scan across Auckland, here's the Northern Club, which is still standing today. And as we come along, this is Princess Street here. Here we have Albert Park, this area here. All these old buildings still exist, but they're part of Auckland University now, and Albert Park has changed significantly. This photo is another one in the series, but there's no adjoining photo to take up this gap. Maybe it's floating somewhere. And there's Partington's Windmill, and that's Mount Eden. So that's more looking southeast from the Bishop's Palace. Anyway, when I was looking at this photo, I thought, oh yeah, that's interesting. Oh, look at those buildings. Yes, yes, yes. And then I looked over here and I saw this thing here and I thought, what is that? And that, my friends, is Bastion Rock. And this is Bastion Point here. A lot of the land reclamation and roads that make up Tamaki Drive are not in there yet in 1900. So let's just skip along and we'll have a little look-see at that rock. So here's a painting done in about 1850 showing a Bastion Rock. This is looking from the other side of Mission Bay back towards Auckland. Another painting on the Mission Bay side of Bastion Rock, and here's an actual photo now. Here we are with the Bastion Rock. This is about medium tide. When the tide was out, there was actually you could walk across the Bastion Rock, and in the background we have Rangitoto and Bean Rock Lighthouse situated right there. So a very flat top. It looks almost sculptured, and I think over the years they have kind of modified it and played with it and done various bits and pieces. So this is the lovely shot. I love this shot. Here we are at Bastion. There's no road. The Tamaki Drive doesn't exist at the moment, so this is actually quite a reasonable sort of beach. Looks kind of rocky. The road, the road now goes right over where these people are, and if you look back you can sort of see here a Bastion Rock. The tide's quite a bit out, and I don't know how these people got here because there was no roads there, but what people would do in those days around this period, I think it was about 1898, this one, they would catch boats, and boats would run charters in the summer around to all the various beaches and drop people off and pick people up, and you could go and spend a day at the beach. And here they are, all man, you wouldn't get very sunburnt in those clothes, would you? Anyway, moving right along. Now here's a shot that I took pretty much from where that last shot was taken, and you can see here that in fact the Bastion Rock is long gone, and now the Tamaki Yacht Club is sitting pretty much where the Bean Rock used to be. So here's a shot taken in 1910. Still there's no Tamaki Drive here. People have obviously, let's just expand that a bit. People are here for the summer camping. Bean Rock is now gone. So by 1910 the rock is gone, and now Fort Bastion. Fort Bastion was put up on where Bastion Point is, and was commissioned in 1886, and they put up a couple of 12-pound guns there, ones that would fall back into the ground. They'd come up and could go back down, and they used the Bean Rock itself as a platform to put a spotlight on, and they had tunnels that would come down from Bastion Point down through the ground and come out at the cliff, and people would be able to get access from Fort Bastion down to the spotlights. But here's a photo of troopers communicating by flags with Fort Courtly, which I believe is over near North Heads. Here's another lovely shot taken in 1914, and these are the boys in the First World War who were manning the area around Fort Bastion. Interesting because in one thing I read, it said that it wasn't manned during World War One. Not sure, don't know. Okay, also you can sort of see here that Bastion Rock is long gone, but you can see some, and the fill for it has been used to make quite a large bridge going across here to a hole in the cliff here, and this is the hole that was used by people to gain access down to this area here. And obviously when the rock was here and the lighthouse was here, it was used for that as well. But this photo here is one of flying boat. There was a flying school around at Mission Bay during First World War, used to train up the pilots before they were sent away to Europe. Another shot of Bastion Point, very similar. This is taken in 1921. So here's Fort Bastion. This is 1930. This shows you the two guns or the two emplacements that were there. The guns have long been removed. And Mickey Savage Memorial has been built over this area here. And if you go there, you can actually sort of see traces of. You kind of think, oh yeah, that's where various things were. So if you're up there next time, have a good look, and you'll get a feeling for what was there in the days gone by. Okay, this is a photo 1931 showing Tamaki Drive has now been constructed. In fact, it was built in 1926 is when this road was put through, and you can still see remnants of a beach here, and it goes around there. Fort Bastion's pretty much gone. It was abandoned, I think, in 1926, or the army gave it up in 1926. Here's a photo taken in 1931. This shows you that that hole in the wall. Before, the ground used to go all the way up to, or sort of the fill used to go right up to this hole, so they'd come out there and be able to walk down the fill. Now that's all been cleared away to make way for the Tamaki Drive. And here's a mother. Is that an apron on? I'm not sure. The kids' togs, etc. And here the kids having a swim. In the old car there. Dad's probably taking the photograph of this one, who knows. Wonderful shots. By the way, you can still see this this hole in the wall. We'll have a look at that later on. So the road is going up now to Bastion Point. Nothing great to see there. That's a 1931 as well. Now this is a lovely shot. This is one for the opening of the Tamaki Yacht Club. So the Tamaki Yacht Club used to be based around at Kohimarama and St Heliers. It used to, for those people that had boats and yachts who lived around at those beaches, the Tamaki Yacht Club was their invention. And they obviously got a lease or whatever on this property here, and in 1937, a couple of years before the war, the Tamaki Yacht Club was built there. It's obviously been modified a lot, but you can still see the turret here, or the lookout tower. It's all been encased. Various other bits and pieces. Lovely cars there, aren't they? Look at those, beautiful. And there seems to be a wall here that is not apparent at this moment. You can see the base of this wall, which goes around there. It's certainly not as high as it is there. Now, this is a photo taken in 1942. This is taken out on the edge, out on the tip over here, looking back towards the Tamaki Yacht Club. And here we have a twin 6-pounder, or 6-inch, I'm not sure which, guns. So obviously the army has said, sorry, we we need your Tamaki Yacht Club, you know. We have a national emergency here, and they took over the golf club. Sorry, not the golf club, the yacht club. There was a golf club, by the way, up on Bastion Point at this time. But, oh sorry, no, it closed in 1940. But here we have the yacht club converted over to a wartime facility with armoured guns here, which can traverse backwards and forwards and cover the various channels. There was also a boom that ran between here and Torpedo Bay on the other shore, and that was used to prevent submarines from coming in and attacking Auckland. So here's another shot showing the area in 1946. Bastion area, the Bastion Point area, are very unpopulated still. The army had not confiscated the land, but basically taken the land as a national emergency and just forgot to give it back, really. And of course 1977 was it, when Ngāti Whātua said that ain't right, and the land was given back. as it rightly should have actually, but cheeky. Okay, and there we are today. That's the modern scene of what you'll see today of Bastion Point now. Bastion Rock long gone, and traces of Fort Bastion still to be seen. Now, I went there, and one of the things, I went there a few days ago. The wind was blowing like nobody's business, but I wanted to see if I could still see that hole in the wall, and you could. Now, so we'll Windows Media Player. So here I am at the car park outside. Here's the Tamaki Yacht Club, and excuse the noise a bit, but I traversed across here, and the camera's getting blown around quite a bit. But up here, you can see there's steps going up there, and these steps lead up to that actual hole. And the hole is actually here. Unfortunately, you can't see it here. Unfortunately, you can't see it. I tried to enhance it, but you can't. But the hole is just there, and when you're walking past it, obviously, I didn't want to go running across the road and jump over the fence and go up there. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll do that some other time. But it just looked a bit dangerous, and it was windy, and I wasn't really in the mood. But that, my friends, is Bastion Rock and Fort Bastion, which I never knew existed. Okay? So I hope you learned something new there, and that's episode 4, Bastion Rock and Fort Bastion. So this is the Kiwi Codger signing out. Take it easy.